skies. So here we are, Exact Track 4D. We have a little bit of light rain kind of just lingering close to the radar site. I think a lot of that's a fine mist because the line of showers we were contending with now in the tip of the thumb and even pushing up past the Saginaw Valley. And so we will continue to hold on to some moisture. Oh, I'm going to bounce back here because I want you to see the views across town. So here we go as we're zooming in. Ann Arbor, that's a little improvement from when I joined you about a half hour ago.
You can actually see something.
Yeah, it might be blurry, but you can see that there's something there. Let's go ahead and check in with our Windsor Sky Cam.
Oh.
Little improvement there. I think, Windsor's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah,
They're not as gusty as they'll be later, but the wind's going to help us. And so soupy to say the least, but we can see some buildings in downtown Detroit. Let's check out Southfield because that was the one that was late to the party with fog. I think it's going to be late to dissipate too.
Right.
So, yeah. So overall, I mean, we will continue to see improvement with visibility. Areas that were down to 0 miles are now at 1, like at Metro Airport. Now we're still holding on to some of the denser fog farther south, but we will continue to see the fog lift as we roll through the morning and temperatures will rise over the next hour or two, and then we will start to see them fall. But they've been hovering right around 40 degrees for a while. We've gone up about a degree or two in some spots. So I would say mid, maybe upper 40s if we're lucky, around 10, and then we will fall into the 30s. But we have a chance for a little bit of a wintry mix, if not a few wet flakes this afternoon, and we will have wind chill readings colder than that, because you're probably thinking, well, 38, it's above freezing. Well, there are a lot of factors. I mean, the upper atmosphere will be colder at that point. So wind gusts, let's take you through the timeline here. By 2 p.m., that's when we start to see really the strongest wind arrive. Those wind gusts will be right around 45 miles per hour, taking us into that wind advisory for sure. And then even when that advisory lifts at 9 p.m., we're still blustery and breezy out there with those gusts around 30 miles per hour. So as we hover in the 30s, we kind of plateau in the 30s this afternoon. It'll feel about 10 degrees cooler with the wind chill. So it'll feel more like 20s. And that's, going to be a little adjustment for us. We've been used to the 40s, 50s, even 60s in some spots. Now, as we walk you through the timeline of the wintry precipitation, I would say by 1, 2 o'clock, you're likely going to see a couple of those flakes flying across the area. Better chance of that persisting a bit in the thumb later on this evening while the rest of us have the cloud cover. I won't rule out a couple flakes on Saturday. I think overall we're pretty much just dealing with cloud cover, but Sunday's our better shot at getting rounds of more lake effect bands on the back edge of this low that could result in some accumulation. So I would say model data puts us right around an inch. Really the range is about a ½ inch to our south, 1.5 inches to our north, but we could see this start to stick across the area after we were finally able to melt away a lot of the snow that we've had. The mounds in the parking lots, those will probably be there until June, but we will be pretty seasonal this weekend. We take a dip early next week, so I mean those teens for morning lows make a little comeback, but not for long. I think this is the thing to think about, Nick. We were stuck in that.
This is actually trying to make it all better.
Here's my Feel Good Friday part of the forecast for you. We had just, it seemed like a month from, late January into early February where we just didn't even get above freezing.
Yes. It was
where at least we're getting like the ebb and flow. Like we're going to take a little dip, but then we rebound. And so it shouldn't be as brutal, I guess is what I'm saying.
I was just so happy that my driveway cleared itself and there were no ice jams that I could, and now I've got to get the shovel back out.
Well, I don't even have to shovel.
No?
Maybe throw some salt.
Leaf blower?
Maybe.
A little too wet, right?
It might be a little wet, yeah. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, ½ inch, I do think that you can get away with not shoveling.
Yeah,
but if you end up in that, area that's like more of an 1.5 inches, then maybe you're shoveling a little bit. But it's not like snowblower stuff where you're like 6 inches of snow.
Oh my gosh, I know, that's fair. I will say, we haven't had a ton of that, although last year was a lot better.
As far as what?
Snow accumulation.
Oh.
How many times you had to snow blow it?
Well, yeah, but we didn't have much melting last month, though.
That's true.
I know. It just kept mounting on top of each other.
You keep digging yourself a hole here.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Or building yourself a mountain.
See you Monday.
Yeah, right.